optimal. In this video, we're going to talk about what optimal health is and maybe give you a little bit more clarity on what a person's sufficient cellular energy so we can be vibrant activities. We want a clear mind. We want to make sure we're not in being balanced is we're just going to settle into an ideal weight. For most people, different systems, organs, or glands are stressed, and that is preventing them from being at an ideal weight. They might have some serious hormonal imbalances that can lead to very frustrating for people if they start to kind of go through this delicate dance of balancing hormones. And when your hormones get out of balance, it can be very, very challenging to be at your ideal weight. Many times we talk about if we want to keep health super simple, it boils down to two things. It boils down to flow and it boils down to balance. So when I talk about flow, I'm talking about in conventional sense, I'm talking about blood flow, nerve flow, or lymphatic flow. Eastern philosophies, you might hear things like chi, life force, or prana. In the end, it's just energy. So anytime there's a blockage of any kind, bad things happen. So we always want to make sure we have flow. And then the other thing is balance. We're going to probably be at an ideal health. If it gets too high, bad things happen. If it gets too low, bad things happen. Our blood predicated on balance, including your musculature. So certain muscles, if they get too short and tight, bad things can happen. Certain muscles get too long and weak, bad things can happen. So everything is designed around balance. And we have this very delicate balance. And anytime we get too far out of that balance, that's when symptoms are going to manifest. So if we look at kind of some of the key elements of optimal health, custom nutrition, what I'm talking about is unique as your thumbprint, meaning friend or your family member. And that's probably one of the biggest challenges we face when clients come in. They're like, oh, my friend told me that. And why? Because the variables are very different for all of us. It can be blood type, there can be lifestyle factors, epigenetics, how your work for you isn't necessarily going to work for everyone else. So when we say this program is amazing, we have to qualify that by saying amazing for who. Now, there's certain key elements and foundational principles that are going to work for pretty much everyone, but that's where things stop. Then we have to sometimes look at more customization, and that's where custom nutrition comes in. We can make sure that you're eating the right foods for your chemistry, and then equally important is we can customize your approach to make sure what direction, because we're removing the toxicities or we're giving you the raw materials or sure optimization. So sometimes it's deficiencies and sometimes it's still important to test. Efficient digestion, sometimes it's not just what you're eating. Sometimes it's, are you able to digest this? And digestion tends to be a little bit more compromised. They're not producing maybe as much hydrochloric acid, so they might be more challenged with certain foods. And especially, now I'm not talking about food allergens, but food sensitivities. So food can either be like medicine to one person, it can be like poison to the other person. So we want to make sure people are eating foods that they're not intolerant to, obviously. And then in more functional exercises, our body is designed to squat, it's designed to bend, it's designed to push, it's designed to pull, it's designed to lunge, and also it's designed to walk, jog, or run. So again, getting away from gimmicky things like we talked about last week, we want to make sure that when we're exercising, we're adding those components of fitness. Those things will never, ever change, never, ever, ever, ever change, right? Those are your foundational building blocks. So it doesn't matter what type of exercise program you're talking about, automatically, where they're continuing to improve, they'll component for making sure not only are you maintaining positive energetic mindset, but your mind that can dysregulate your nervous system. So a positive attitude can fix a lot of things. And so, sometimes people talk about, well, fake it till you make it. But if we can start with positivity and we can start with gratitude, that can really, really change you energetically. So positive attitude and gratitude, very important. Pure water. So I need about 100 ounces of water. Part of that is predicated on, if you're working out a lot, if you're working and you're sweating, temperature is humid. There's some variables there, right? But toxicity, and sometimes what happens because of that toxicity, it can throw off your body's mineralization, and you're not getting adequate minerals in your. So people can either be deficient, or that toxicity can. You're not going to be able to get that water into the cell where it belongs. So, for instance, you can drink, and that again, that can be because of electrolyte deficiencies. So you're not, because if you're too toxic, that depletes the minerals in your bloodstream. So that can play a role in you getting enough water into the cell. And I've been drinking water all day long. That's because either if the gut is off, the gut microbiome, what can happen is you're not absorbing water. So there's all these variables that go in, those other variables that go with it. And then proper breathing. Talk about breathing all the time. And again, the average person's breathing about 20 to 25,000 times every single day. So it gives you an opportunity to really either optimize your health or detract from it. So remember, if we are breathing too rapidly and we are not breathing more expansively, we're doing more vertical activity, that overworks all these neck muscles, jaw muscles, shoulder muscles, these accessory respiratory muscles that can lead to neck problems, jaw problems, shoulder problems. You're living in fight or flight. So what we want to do is we want to think about breathing more horizontally and more expansively. And there's so many benefits to regulating your nervous system. Our body can't heal. Our body can't step on the gas. Certain times we need to step on the brake. But If you want to heal, then we actually have to upregulate more parasympathetic activity. So breathing is one of the best ways you can do that. Again, we talked a little bit about it last week, but nice inhale and then exhale for 8. So if exhaling for 8, you start to and if you can't make 7, go to 6. We just want that exhale longer than your inhale. So that is good to optimize your health. Remember, we want to live a life. It's just a reflection that your body's in balance. Either we have a decrease in flow, remember, we want flow and we want balance, or there's some sort of imbalance present in your body. It's cause and effect. It's as simple as that. So always make sure we have our foundation built and go out and make it a great day. You certainly do deserve it.